He's hooking. He's hooking. Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
After the West Ham disaster, Newcastle came through.
I think today we navigated that one really well, especially after the weekend. It was important. We responded mentally, and our psychology was really good, and I thought we were in a good place today in that respect. I think it was our best performance, but it was good enough. And as you say, 3 wins in a row, some strong performances at home, and we're in a good position.
So from a Dan Burn header burning the back of the net,
I see what you did there,
to a Malik Chow monster class, to the massive injury returns, to Newcastle set to beat Liverpool to an exciting start. Plus, has Sandro Tonali committed his future to Newcastle United?
Yeah, this is a tough question.
This is the worst bit. I hate this bit. This is the worst bit.
Because, the football is... You need to think.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Newcastle 2, Athletic Bilbao 0.
Let's go.
Starting off with the underdog mentality. It felt fitting that the man chosen for media duties earlier in the week was the one to deliver on the pitch. Dan Burn reminded everyone why he embodies Newcastle's fighting spirit, putting in one of his best performances in weeks. After a run of criticism and questions about his suitability at left back, Burn responded in the best possible way, with passion, grit, and a goal that will go down as an iconic St James's Park moment. His header, scored from just a 0.03 xG only, epitomized the underdog mentality that has come to define this Newcastle side under Eddie Howe. Burn also put in a disciplined defensive display, finishing with an 8.4 match rating. He registered 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 clearances, 4 recoveries while winning 3 out of 3 ground duels and 4 of 5 aerial duels. His distribution was tidy too, completing 39 of 49 passes, 80%, and he contributed 1 key pass from open play. It was a true dominant performance, aggressive, committed, and full of heart. For sure, Burn's influence continues to be felt both on and off the pitch, a reminder that spirit can often trump style. We also learned about the duel master. If Burn led by heart, Malik Chow led by class. The German centre-back continues to look like one of the smartest signings Newcastle have made in years. With an 8.5 match rating, Chow produced yet another commanding display, combining elegance in possession with raw defensive steel. His awareness and reading of the game are exceptional. He often stops danger before it even develops. Chow completed 68 of 77 passes, 88%, including 14 out of 19, 74%, in the opposition half, and an incredible 6 out 6 long balls, 100%, showing his composure and passing range. Defensively, he was rock solid, recording 5 clearances, 2 blocked shots, 5 recoveries, and 10 aerial duels, 1 out of 12 contested. He also won 2 ground duels, was not dribbled past once, and committed no fouls. Statistically, he's among the Premier League's elite defenders this season. Only 3 players have contested 40-plus duels and won 70% or more, with Chow sitting at 73.91%, completing 34 out of 46, just behind Van Dijk. He's not just winning battles, he's dominating them. With the most touches in the match, Thiago controlled the tempo from the back, showing maturity beyond his years. Eddie Howe was full of praise after the match. I think he settled in very quickly. He's looked at home with our style of play and what we're asking him to do. Top delivery from him. Even Dan Burn was quick to credit his new partner, acknowledging how seamlessly Chow has slotted in. Now recently called and back in the Germany national team, Thiago's rise continues to accelerate, and it's no exaggeration to say he's becoming one of the top 5 centre-backs in the league.
I could see that as a very real possibility.
For Newcastle, he's already a guaranteed starter, a colossus in black and white. Alongside Chow, Sven Botman produced another assured performance, earning a 7.3 rating. The chemistry between the two is improving every game, and it's beginning to show in their clean sheets and control at the back. Botman looked unflappable under pressure, completing the highest number of passes on the pitch with superb accuracy. He made 1 tackle, 1 interception, 2 clearances, and 1 blocked shot, 4 recoveries while winning 2 aerial duels and 2 ground duels. His positioning was textbook, and though he'll feel disappointed not to have scored from a second-half chance, his defensive composure was vital throughout. Howe summed it up perfectly. I thought he and Sven Botman both played very well today. They needed to because there were moments where they were tested. Botman and Chow looked like a partnership ready to anchor Newcastle's defense for years to come. For Nick Pope, after facing criticism for his performance against West Ham, Nick Pope delivered the perfect response. Commanding, alert and brave, he earned a massive 8.4 rating and a well-deserved clean sheet. Pope made 5 saves, including 3 from inside the box, and prevented 1.04 expected goals. His sweeping was top class, 3 successful runs out of 3 outside his area, and he dealt confidently with high balls, registering 2 claims and 1 punch. What stood out most was his confidence and communication. He organized his defense well and produced several quick throwouts that launched Newcastle counterattacks. While his distribution remains a work in progress, Pope's shot-stopping and anticipation remain elite. With this performance, he now sits joint second for most clean sheets in the Champions League this season, an impressive feat that speaks volumes about his consistency at the highest level. From Burns' leadership to Chow's dominance, Botman's control and Pope's redemption, this was a defensive masterclass that embodied everything Eddie Howe's Newcastle stands for: fight, intelligence, and belief. Then we also learned about the midfield resilience. The engine room really powered Newcastle United's latest European triumph. Just like Dan Burn, Joelinton responded to recent criticism with a statement performance. He hasn't always looked his fluid best this season, but against Bilbao, he took a major step forward. The Brazilian was aggressive, physical, and crucially clinical, taking his goal superbly to set the tone in a hard-fought European clash. Out of possession, he pressed relentlessly and competed for every ball, giving Newcastle a physical edge in midfield. Statistically, Joelinton's impact was undeniable. He finished with a 7.8 match rating, scoring once from a 0.52 xG and registering 2 shots on target from 2 total attempts. In possession, he completed 33 of 41 passes, 80%, including 15 of 21 in the opposition half, while connecting all 3 of his long balls with a 100% accuracy. Defensively, he was immense. 3 tackles, 2 3 interceptions, 1 clearance, and 9 recoveries. He also won 7 ground duels, adding bite and presence in the middle. While he may still lack some technical refinement, his influence on the game's intensity was clear. This was the Joelinton Newcastle have missed: destructive, determined, and decisive. Then, Bruno Guimarães is really the warrior captain. Considering he was battling illness, Bruno Guimarães once again showed why he's the heartbeat of this Newcastle side. Despite being far from full fitness, the Brazilian produced a calm, composed display, dictating play with intelligence and efficiency. His leadership never wavered, even when the physical toll of illness began to show. His 94% pass completion rate, completing 31 out of 33 passes, was remarkable given Bilbao's pressing intensity. He also registered 1 key pass, completed 100% of his dribbles, and was fouled twice, showcasing his usual composure in tight spaces. Defensively, he made 1 recovery and won 4 out of 6 duels and contributed to Newcastle's control in midfield before being substituted around the hour mark. After the game, Bruno admitted the struggle he endured. For me, it was like something was holding me with 10 kilograms on my back. For this club, I will do everything. I started feeling ill the day before we played West Ham. Eddie Howe, meanwhile, praised his courage and professionalism. His character is undoubted. His will to play is so strong. We knew he wasn't 100% fit, but he assured me he could perform. I thought he did very well, and we lost a little bit when he came off. Even below his best, Bruno's quality and leadership shone through. His determination to play through pain spoke volumes. A captain in every sense of the word. Then there's Sandro Tonali, Newcastle's metronome and midfield conductor. With a 7.3 match rating, Tonali once again produced a masterclass in control and game management. His consistency is becoming frightening, always reliable, always involved. He covered the most distance of any player on the pitch and played a key role in maintaining composure and rhythm throughout the match. Tonali completed 49 of 62 passes, including 17 of 24 in the opposition half and 5 of 7 long balls. He won 5 fouls, using his intelligence to break Bilbao's momentum and slow the game down when needed. With 79 touches and just 1 unsuccessful touch, he dictated play efficiently, anchoring midfield transitions and helping Newcastle control the tempo. After the match, Tonali's performance was recognized as he picked up the Man of the Match award. After giving him the award, UEFA's technical observer group said, through UEFA's official website. He was excellent in and out of possession and had the biggest influence in the game. The midfielder was strong in his duels and showed a great range of passing. It was a perfect way to sum up a performance that brought control to an otherwise not particularly convincing team display. But it was his post-match comments that made headlines, a moment of honesty that reflected both maturity and ambition, despite his recently contract extension revealed. When asked about his long-term future at Newcastle, he said,
Yeah, this is a tough question because the football is. You need to think year for year because I think I don't want to say I want to stay here 10 years and in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years I will go. So every player here, I want to think just for me, but year for year because this is football. And every summer, the last summer was tough for us, for Alex, but this is football. If you have a option for your life, for another team, you need to think everything in the football. And I don't want to say yes. I want to stay here 10 years, but now I'm happy here. I don't feel nothing for the other team.
Sandro, you won man of the match here tonight. How much are you enjoying your football at present, and what does it mean to you to represent this football club?
Yeah, I think tonight, especially tonight, we play with confidence. When we play with confidence, we are another team. Because if you watch the last game, we weren't a little bit brave. We miss confidence. We miss brave in the pitch. Every time we miss this, we have a big problem. So every time we play with brave, with confidence, we win the game every time, and we are happy after the game. So this is the first thing for us: happy after the game. If you play, you come back at home, you are sad. This is a big problem for me, for the team, for the player. But I think every player here after every win are happy, and this is amazing when you play, when your teammates, every teammate is happy.
Do you think you're playing the best football of your career at present?
Yes, but just because I am 25 now, and I came here when I was 22, so I was young before Newcastle, and I think yes, this is my best football. But because I'm 25, I have 3 years more in my legs. I have more confidence, more experience, more games in my career. So I think yes.
While some fans found his answer uncomfortable, it was a refreshing dose of realism. Tonali's honesty reflects Newcastle's growing status, a club that must keep pace with the ambition of its top talents. For now, his commitment on the pitch is unquestionable, and his influence continues to grow. Together, Joelinton, Bruno and Tonali formed a trio that bullied Bilbao into submission. Powerful, industrious, and tactically astute. They embodied everything that makes Newcastle's midfield so formidable: aggression, intelligence, and heart. Then moving on to the attacking setbacks and silver lining. So while the result was positive, it didn't come without a cost. The forward line had moments of promise, but injuries and fatigue once again disrupted Newcastle's rhythm in the final third. Among the attackers, Harvey Barnes stood out as the most effective. Although he started on the right, his performance notably improved when he was switched to the left flank, a move that brought out his natural strengths. Operating on his preferred side, Barnes became far more direct and decisive, registering the assist for Newcastle's second goal. It was a moment that showcased both his awareness and sharpness as he picked the right pass under pressure. There's been visible improvement in Barnes's output in recent weeks, and against Bilbao, he looked closer to the player who terrorized defenses last season. He was Newcastle's standout forward on the night, quick, purposeful, and far more confident in possession. Statistically, Barnes posted a 7.0 match rating. He didn't score, but his creative impact was evident, producing 1 assist from a 0.23 expected assists. He had 1 shot which was blocked and completed 76% of his passes. In attack, he managed 2 dribbles, 1 successful, created 1 big chance, 1 key pass, and delivered 2 crosses, 1 accurate. Barnes was involved in 28 touches, losing the ball just once through an unsuccessful touch. His movement and decision-making were sharper, and his switch to the left wing unlocked both space and tempo for Newcastle. Unfortunately, that tactical reshuffle came as a result of a setback, one that could have lasting implications. The victory over Athletic Bilbao came at a cost, as Eddie Howe's side suffered yet more injury frustrations. Before kickoff, Will Osula was withdrawn from the bench after feeling discomfort in his ankle during the warm-up. His absence was a blow, given Howe had planned to rotate attacking options to manage fatigue. Then came the bigger concern that led to Barnes' chance in position. Anthony Gordon, who was forced off before half-time after aggravating a lingering hip issue. It's the same problem that has troubled him for several weeks, and his early withdrawal could mean another spell on the sidelines. After the match, Howe provided an update, admitting the medical team would need to assess the full extent of the damage. "No, I've not spoken to him, and I haven't really had a full rundown from the medical team, but it seems like a recurrence of his hip injury that has been plaguing him in recent weeks, so we'll assess that and see what damage is done." On Osula's situation, Howe explained the cautious decision to withdraw him entirely. "We've just been in discussions with him at length about his ankle in the last few days, as to whether he's fit enough to actually perform to the level that we need, and that he's comfortable with. After a discussion, we felt it was best to withdraw him and try to get his ankle 100% right." Dan Burn, despite taking a knock, appeared to escape any serious damage and left the pitch looking in decent shape. A small relief for Howe amid an otherwise worrying injury report. Unfortunately for Nick Woltemade, circumstances may dictate that he starts once again on Sunday. With Yoane Wissa still injured and Osula now a doubt, the German forward remains Howe's only fit senior option. Woltemade worked hard against Bilbao, showing some neat touches and link-up play, but he looked visibly fatigued and missed a gilt-edged chance with a first-half header. His effort can't be faulted, but the signs of physical and mental wear are clear. With the fixture list tightening and injuries mounting, Howe faces a tough balancing act, maintaining momentum in Europe while reigniting Newcastle's Premier League campaign. The team's resilience has carried them this far, but to keep pushing, they'll need fresher legs, and perhaps a bit of luck, to avoid another injury crisis derailing their progress. Then, after all the talk about injuries and absences, Newcastle United finally had something to smile about. Key returns that injected both balance and belief back into the team. The comeback of Lewis Hall, it was a really positive showing from Lewis Hall, whose ball carrying and composure in possession brought a different dimension down Newcastle's left-hand side. His reintroduction couldn't have come at a better time. With Hall and Livramento still sidelined, and Dan Burn often stretched covering multiple roles, Hall's energy and progressive play immediately lifted the tempo. Having struggled for minutes this season due to injuries, managing just 2 starts before Wednesday, Hall's performance against Athletic Bilbao reminded fans of what they had been missing. The England youngster slotted seamlessly into the rhythm of the game after replacing Burn in the second half, showing confidence, technical quality, and a calmness that belies his age. It was a short cameo, but one that got supporters talking. On social media, fans were delighted to see the former Chelsea defender back in action, noting how much more fluid the left side looked with him overlapping and driving the ball forward. Statistically, Hall posted a 6.6 match rating, completing 15 of his 17 passes for an 88% accuracy rate. He attempted 5 passes in the opposition half, all of which were successful, while maintaining an 83% accuracy in his own half. Despite limited time on the pitch, he still managed 22 touches and recovered the ball twice, while also winning one of his 2 ground duels. Defensively, he wasn't called into much action, recording no tackles, interceptions, or clearances, but his positioning was sharp and his decision-making measured. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but they speak to efficiency and control. Hall didn't take risks. He managed the game, circulated possession well, and made Newcastle's build-up play smoother. It's exactly the type of balance Eddie Howe's side have been lacking from left-back in recent weeks. With Burn overworked and Livramento not yet fully fit, Hall's return is a crucial one. His natural attacking instincts, coupled with his ability to retain the ball, could be key in stabilizing the team's shape heading into a busy stretch of fixtures. The other good news thought is Livramento is back in training, but credit to Trippier for filling in for him. In fact, if Hall brought youth and freshness, Kieran Trippier brought composure, experience, and leadership. The England international was a huge miss in the loss to West Ham, and his influence was immediately evident on Wednesday night. Trippier was dynamic on both ends of the pitch, solid defensively, relentless in his pressing, and once again lethal from set pieces. His pinpoint delivery set up Dan Burn's goal, a moment of pure quality that underlined why he remains one of the Premier League's best crossers of the ball. Offensively, his decision-making and consistency were key, and defensively, he was tireless in shutting down Bilbao's wide threats. He ended the night with a 7.1 match rating, registering 1 assist from an expected assist value of 0.03. Trippier completed 35 of 52 passes, maintaining a 67% accuracy rate, with 73 total touches across the match. In duels, he was typically combative, winning 4 of his 7 ground duels and 1 of his 2 aerial duels, while also recording 7 recoveries and 3 clearances. His defensive presence was sharp, winning 3 out of 4 tackles, and offensively, he provided a constant outlet with 4 crosses, 2 of which found their target. It wasn't just his performance that stood out, it was his presence. Trippier's communication, intensity, and willingness to drive the team forward from the back made him a commanding figure throughout. Even when not at his absolute best statistically, his influence on those around him remains invaluable. The night carried extra significance as both Kieran Trippier and Bruno Guimarães reached a notable milestone, making their 10th Champions League start for Newcastle United, equaling Alan Shearer's record for the club in the competition. Only 3 outfield players have made more appearances in Europe's elite competition for Newcastle: Andy O'Brien, Andy Griffin, and Gary Speed, who each featured 11 times. With the Magpies on track for the knockout stages, it seems almost certain that Trippier and Bruno will surpass that tally this season, a testament to their consistency, fitness, and importance to Eddie Howe's project. But if you would like to know the hidden secret truth about Kieran Trippier, click the video link on the top corner on your screen now. Then, amid all the positive performances and injury recoveries, there's plenty happening off the pitch too. In what could be one of the most ambitious transfer moves in recent Newcastle United history, reports from Spain suggest that the Magpies have made a stunning €70 million offer to Real Madrid for French midfield star Eduardo Camavinga. The bid has reportedly been sent directly to the offices at the Santiago Bernabéu, and while Real Madrid are not expected to accept it immediately, the figure is significant enough to make the Spanish giants pause for consideration. According to the reports, Los Blancos will first take into account Camavinga's own opinion before entering into any formal negotiations with Newcastle. The player's desire will be central to any potential deal, and at present, Real Madrid are said to be in no rush to sell one of their most gifted young midfielders. Should the move progress, it would likely be a summer transfer, allowing Camavinga to complete the ongoing season in Madrid before embarking on a new challenge in England. Although no other major outlets have yet corroborated the story, Newcastle's growing ambition and recruitment strategy make this rumor far from implausible. Since their rise under Eddie Howe and the ownership of the Saudi-backed consortium Newcastle have shown that they are not afraid to aim high. Pursuing a player of Camavinga's caliber signals their intent to continue building a side capable of competing both in the Premier League and in Europe. The 22-year-old French international remains one of world football's most versatile young talents. Able to play as a defensive midfielder, central midfielder, centre-back, or even as a left-back, Camavinga's adaptability makes him an invaluable asset. Yet despite his talent, his game time this season has been somewhat limited. He has made 7 total appearances, starting just 2 matches, averaging 38 minutes per game for a total of 266 minutes played. For a player of his quality and hunger, that restricted role could become a source of frustration, and Newcastle may see an opportunity to offer him a more prominent position and consistent playing time in the heart of their midfield. If Newcastle were to pull off this audacious transfer, it could genuinely reshape their midfield. Camavinga, alongside Bruno Guimarães and Sandro Tonali, would form a technically gifted and tactically balanced trio, a unit capable of controlling games against any opposition. Bruno's creativity and Tonali's drive would perfectly complement Camavinga's dynamism and defensive discipline. This midfield combination wouldn't just elevate Newcastle's performances, it could become one of the most complete and balanced units in European football. Carlo Ancelotti himself once hailed Camavinga as extraordinary, a word that encapsulates his rare combination of maturity, intelligence, and physical ability for his age. Whether or not the transfer ultimately materializes, one thing is clear. Newcastle United are thinking big. Their reported willingness to submit a €70 million offer for one of Real Madrid's prized assets shows that the project at St James's Park is both ambitious and forward-thinking. For Magpies fans, this represents more than just a transfer rumour. It's a signal of progress. Even if Camavinga stays in Madrid for now, the fact that Newcastle are operating in the same market as Europe's elite clubs proves how far they've come. If they manage to get the deal done, it could be a masterstroke, a signing that not only strengthens the team on the pitch, but also announces Newcastle United's arrival as a genuine powerhouse in world football. Then in another transfer development, according to reports, the Magpies are looking to beat both Liverpool and Aston Villa to the signing of Ecuadorian international centre-back Joel Ordonez, one of South America's most exciting young defenders currently shining for both Club Brugge and his national team. Transfer journalist Pete O'Rourke has revealed that Newcastle are keeping a close eye on Ordonez's situation and could make a move soon. The 21-year-old has impressed massively for Brugge, featuring in the Champions League and establishing himself as one of Ecuador's defensive anchors during their World Cup qualification campaign. His blend of athleticism, composure on the ball, and ability to step into midfield makes him an ideal fit for Eddie Howe's system, a defender capable of playing out from the back while still being physically dominant in duels. However, there is a potential stumbling block: his contract. Brugge, aware of his rising stock, tied Ordonez down to a new deal in September that runs until 2029. That long-term commitment puts the Belgian club in a strong negotiating position and means Newcastle would likely need to pay a significant fee to tempt them into selling. Speaking to Football Insider, O'Rourke explained, "Liverpool, obviously we know about their defensive issues. He's been linked to Aston Villa, who are also admirers of him, and Newcastle as well have been keeping tabs on the Ecuador international situation. He's done very well for Club Brugge, playing in the Champions League, playing at the highest level, and has been outstanding for Ecuador in their successful qualification to the World Cup. There was obviously speculation around his future in the summer, but Brugge managed to keep hold of him and tied him down to a new contract in September that runs until 2029. Newcastle's growing interest in Ordonez isn't happening in isolation. It may in fact be a precautionary move driven by uncertainty surrounding Sven Botman's future. The Dutch defender remains one of the Premier League's most coveted centre-backs, with reports linking Liverpool with yet another potential raid on Tyneside. With doubts emerging over Ibrahima Konaté's long-term fitness, Liverpool are reportedly eyeing Botman as a prime target to strengthen their defensive line. Within Newcastle, new sporting director Ross Wilson has made it a priority to tie Botman down to a lucrative new contract, recognizing his importance to Eddie Howe's project. But while negotiations continue, the club are clearly preparing contingencies, and Ordonez could be seen as the ideal successor should any big offers come in. Even if Botman stays, Newcastle's interest in Ordonez makes strategic sense. The 21-year-old could initially be integrated as a rotational option, developing under the guidance of senior defenders like Fabian Schär and Dan Burn. Schär, who has been a rock at the back since joining the club, is out of contract next summer. While the Swiss international has hinted that he's open to extending his stay, no agreement has yet been finalized. Should Schär decide to move on or transition into a reduced playing role, Ordonez would represent a ready-made replacement, a player with the technical and tactical attributes that align with Howe's evolving vision for Newcastle's backline. With defensive depth becoming a growing concern amid injuries and contract uncertainties, the January transfer window could be crucial for Newcastle United. The club are not only looking at reinforcements in defense, but are also expected to explore attacking and midfield additions, ensuring they maintain competitiveness both domestically and in Europe. Eddie Howe's side continue to build momentum, but as they push for Champions League knockout qualification and aim to steady their Premier League form, adding young, high-quality players like Joel Ordonez could prove vital, both for the present and the long-term project on Tyneside. The next few months could therefore be defining, not just for Howe's current squad, but for the future core of Newcastle United's defensive structure. But if you would like to know something you didn't know about Sven Botman, click the video link on screen now.